live. Everything looks good, I think. Let me know in the chat if we're good. Hopefully we get some people in the chat going on. Oh, there we go. Excellent. Okay, 38, 40, something. Okay, cool. We're live. There we go. There's the chat coming through. Okay, sounds good. Thanks. Sweet. Okay, so today, guys, I just got some cool stuff. There's just been a lot of action going on. I don't know if you guys have been seeing it, but yeah, there's all kinds of fancy stuff getting released, and yeah, I got some cool stuff to show at the end. Maybe if we have a little bit of time, I can show off some cool stuff that should be shipped pretty soon. Like the stuff's actually done. I just need to do all the boring stuff of creating the social media images, doing the feature list, and all that other stuff. Back in the day, I used to just ship a stack same day, boom, it was on my site. Now it's like all this stuff I got to do. Like, so, anyway, lots of stuff going on. And not only for me, there's actually some really cool stuff that's getting shipped out. We're going to be talking about Michelangelo. Actually, Dubox released something today. I don't even know what it does, but we're going to go look at it. Some time thing. It was a watch, right? So we'll go check that out. We got some stuff from Multi-Themes, Michelangelo. Okay. And we got some stuff from RW Pro Space, Stacks App Stacks. We got all kinds of cool stuff to show off today. I don't have any of the outside of my stuff. I don't actually have any of those stacks to like play around and show you, but we'll look through all the demos and stuff like that. So, and if you guys have any questions, maybe towards the end we can kind of answer some, or as I go, if they're simple little questions, I don't have to like take up tons of time. But without further ado, let's start jumping in. Let me go ahead and open up. We'll just open up Safari at first. Let's go ahead and share my screen. All right. We're gonna head over to madeforstacks.com. Okay. And we got to look at. Oh, hold on one second. Let me just go through. Let me change the sort. I have a secret way of changing the sort. I don't want word getting out yet. It'll come for everybody else, but I got a secret way here. Okay. So we're going to look at a few of these up top first, okay? And why am I so late? I was like 1 minute late. I had to reboot my Mac. So there we go. I was late. Sorry. All right. So my time from Dubox. I haven't even looked at this. I have no clue what it does. Let's go ahead and have a gander of this. Obviously beautiful icons. Oh, it looks like it's a clock. My time. Okay, you can display the time on your webpage. And it's a nice little JavaScript generated clock. And oh, it looks like you can have multiple on the page that display multiple different time zones. Cool. Nice. And I'm assuming these will dynamically change since these don't show the second. He probably put the second up here because it's something that you can see actively, moves. Nice. 10 pounds. Okay. Cool. If you're an office that has multiple offices and you're like, our offices are open at this time, or this is the 3 time zones for our 3 offices. Cool. Gets the job done. If you do have my TARDIS stack, and this is nice. Mine doesn't do dynamic changing of time. Like it's only on page load, but I have a stack called TARDIS, which does a whole bunch of other date and time stuff. But one of its little stacks that includes is you can just display the time on the page and you can configure the time zone as well. So there we go. Cool. But I like that it kind of dynamically changes. Cool. Good job. There we go. Boop. Okay, let's look at. Let's check out. Now this one's flipping cool. Okay. This is from Michelangelo. He actually has 2 new ones. We're gonna look at Pop Blend and Uncover. So let's go ahead and look at both of those. Here, I'm just going to open up all these new ones that we have. Okay, that's it. Sweet. We're gonna close that. All right. So Uncover from Michelangelo. Let's go ahead and check that out. This one's eye popping. It's like super slick. Look at that Uncover. Like, I don't know if you guys saw that. That animation on load is sick. That is sexy. Oh, and look at all these. Ooh, look at that. You can click through them. All kinds of cool stuff to kind of unveil your banner or whatever. I love some of these animations. I think I really like that one's friggin' slick right there. That number 2. Let's keep clicking through these. Oh, that one's interesting. Cool. And got a lot of animations going on this page. Kind of mind-boggling there. They're all cool. My favorite is number 2. I dig that. That's cool. That's my favorite one. Yeah, number 2 is my favorite. But slick. He's using it up here that I'm assuming you can. Again, I don't know, so I'm assuming you can put it wherever you want on the page. Oh, look, he has little thing. Oh, wow, lots of settings. Are these all different stacks? I don't know. I don't have these stacks, so I'm assuming it's one stack, and then these are all the various settings groups. I'm thinking that's what I'm thinking. Wow, a lot of settings going on there. Crazy. He's got breakpoint settings, all kinds of stuff. So he's got the kitchen sink in terms of settings. Here, let's take a look at edit mode. Looks like you just drag in an image. I'm not sure. Maybe that's a background image. I don't know. Preview. I guess. Oh, is there a play button too? Can you like customizations? Oh, look. See, okay, cool. Oh, look here. You can like hear. Oh, and you can replay it. So your customers can be on your site and you be like, wow, I love that animation. Let me just keep playing that animation over and over and over again. So cool. I like that. What's this? There's more samples here. Let's see. That's really cool. I like it. Good job, Michelangelo. I love that. So if you want some cool animations that kind of unveil content on your page, pretty slick. Check that one out. Okay. Next one, Pop Blend. I haven't actually looked at this one yet. Let's go ahead and check it out. No clue what it does. Vector special effects, scroll effects, so more scrolling effects. We got a lot of, oh, look at that. He's got Stacks 5 icon right there. He's got some blend mode going on. Oh, and check that out. Okay, so as I scroll, hopefully you guys can see this through the live stream, but all this like lighting effect, okay? They're animating. They're kind of moving around. So I'm assuming that's one of them. Can I click on all these? Nope. Customizable demos. Oh, let's go to customization. I think these little tools up here are where you see all the other stuff. Oh, see, these are okay. I like this one because I like subtle animations. So I'm not sure how well it's coming through on the live stream, but as I scroll, the little background inside this, they're just moving ever so slightly, and I absolutely love that. Like the Uncover was kind of like an in your face animation, which has its place, right? I think that's cool. But I love these ones where you're just creating very subtle animations where the people go, hey, whoa, did that move? Like, did that just do what I think? And I think those are a lot of times more eye-catching than people like actually pay attention. Like another thing that would be pretty slick is like if these leaves just subtly moved as well or something like that. You can probably do that with something like Drift, right? I have some demos of that, which we're gonna get in some badass Drift stuff that got released recently too. But slick. Here's I guess like a different version of that where you can see how these things are kind of rotating. Okay. Very cool. As you see, they're all rotating kind of as you scroll. Sweet. Very cool. And I think down here he has just some blend. What do these do? What do these scrollers do? They let you like, oh, they let you like, instead of having to scroll the page, you can do this. Very cool. Good job, Michelangelo. All right, let's see what the sample is. There we go. See, I think this particular, not to hanker on my, this is the demo and it shows everything off, right? But like, as I'm scrolling, I see this animating and then this animating and then down here, this animating like all at once. See, to me, that's just too much. This isn't a bang on the product. This is just, if you're using something like that, I would, again, he's using it on the demo to kind of really showcase it off. But I think with animation, sometimes less is more, especially when I see individual elements scrolling so many different places at the same time on the page. And it could just be I'm on a ginormous monitor and my browser's big too. But cool. I like that. I loved these ones on the homepage. Actually, no, my favorite one was this leaf one. This one, that is posh right there. That is super slick. Very subtle. That's my favorite one. That's a great demo. I like that one myself. Okay, cool. So check out Pop Blend. How much? I don't even know how much was it. How much? $20? I don't know. Where? Buy. Michelangelo. If you're here, you got to list your prices, man. Got to put your prices. 19 euros. Right? Maybe that's a pet peeve of mine, but I like seeing the prices. I don't want to have to add it to the cart to see how much it is. So, cool. Good job, Michelangelo. Again, 2 for 2. Good job. Okay. We'll take a break for the animation stuff really quick. And we're going to check out this bad boy by Scott Williams. Scott, you here? This is F6 to PDF. So a user, I think it was over the weekend, maybe. Or maybe it was, I don't know. It was last week, probably. He wanted to do something with forms. I don't even know. So I've talked to Scott about this very little. I haven't even seen it in action. But apparently this will take a form. Oh, Scott, your demo. Your demo doesn't go anywhere, Scott. You don't have a demo for this stack. Let's go to your site. I didn't even tell Scott I was going to do this. So maybe he doesn't have a full-blown demo done yet. Complete a PDF from Access form, email it as an attachment. Let's go to home. I think this is so hot off the press. I don't think he's actually created a demo for this yet. So darn it. Apparently you can like fill out a form and it will generate the form submission content as a PDF, and then we'll email that PDF. Pretty cool, right? I haven't seen it myself. I just knew it. I knew Scott created this, and pretty crazy. Like that's pretty slick. So hopefully soon there will be a demo, Scott, or else I'm just completely missing it. Oh, maybe his instructions. Okay. Damn it. Start shopping. Sorry, Scott. We can buy it. But we're waiting on Chris Powers. Chris, get on that video, huh? Please, Chris, get on that video. So yeah, great concept though. Like I've gotten this request for years. You know, Scott has been like solving all these little problems that people have been emailing me for years. Joe, I want to do this, and I'm like, okay, I'll add it to the list. And it's like this little edge case scenario thing, or like this one in case. I've probably had people submit, hey, I want to create a PDF from the submissions of this form. And I'm like, okay, like I don't have a ton of people, but like people come in with those feature requests from time to time. And I do log them, right? But I can't get to everything. And Scott just seems like every single one of his stacks just solves these little problems that I think would be cool to solve one day, but because people have been asking for it, well, Scott's doing it for us, right? So there we go. Bravo, Scott. Check out a lot of his other stacks. He's been like a stacks machine this year. Okay, just releasing all kinds of great little, like a lot of form ones. Like there's this archive it one. Well, this actually has to do with backups, and I think archive it also does total CMS. Is that the total CMS backup thing? Right. He's just got a great F6 to folder, F6 to CSV, right? So all these ones that are like, he has a lot of like little form add-ons for Foundation 6, which are clever as F. So check those out. He's got, and probably his number one stack, which is one I've wanted to create for years, and he's been bugging me for years to create it. So he finally got sick of me never doing it, and he's like, Joe, what were you going to use? Show me the things. I'm just going to do it. And he created StacksCal and TotalCal, which they're not new, but yeah, great calendar stacks for that everybody needs, and they've been wanting for years. So check out StacksCal and TotalCal. Okay. Next one is Scrollify. And this is a project file from RW ProSpace. Okay. And be prepared. Like your mind is just going to explode. Okay. So let me preface this with, so I released Drift at the end of last year. Okay. I released Drift and Drift Pro. And I worked like, it's probably the hardest I've worked on a product for a long time. I worked really, really hard on Drift. Drift Pro is priced aggressively because it really is a pro animation tool. And because I priced it higher, okay. Now Drift is more affordable. That's why there's Drift and Drift Pro. It takes a little while for people to, and also it's kind of like, think of swatches, but animations, right? And so it takes a while for people to get their head around how to really use Drift Pro, because it really is, you can create whatever you want. Okay. You create the animations. It's not like, let me just take Michelangelo stacks, for example. Like it is that specific effect, right? Like, and it's simpler to implement, but it's the simple effect. Drift, you can create stuff like that, but it is, you create whatever you want, whatever sort of animations you want. And so over time, people have been starting to use Drift, and you kind of see it in the wild. It's taken about a year, okay? But it's kind of like Foundation. Eventually, it takes momentum to kind of get going. And I'm super stoked to see Scrollify, because it's mind-blowing what Massimo's done here, okay? Just like a lot of his other projects, okay? Check out his moving box project, is pretty mind-blowing too, okay? But we're not going to look at that. Let's look at Scrollify now. All right. So, Scrollify, again, it is a project file. It is not a stack. And it is a masterclass on how to do complex animation sites like this with Drift Pro. I believe he's also using Foundation 6, but the star of the show here is Drift Pro. Okay. And people have wanted sites like this forever. First off, I scroll, as you see, the headphones like come off. And not only that, if you look, the lady blinks. Okay. And I'm scrolling down the page. We have the headphones come up, and I'm continuing to scroll, and it's kind of, the website's kind of like stuck at that point, right? And it's doing these animations in point as I'm scrolling down the page. I know people have wanted to create sites like this for a long time with stacks, and here's a great example of what you can do using some of the scroll triggers and animations with Drift. Man, as I'm scrolling, these things are, the words are moving on the side. We have these little pop-ups coming open, and now even though I'm scrolling vertically, it's turned into a horizontal scrolling site. We had things scrolling in and animating in as we scroll down the page, and eventually the whole thing starts scrolling up, and we're back to a vertical site. Like, this is pretty mind-blowing. Seriously is. Now, again, this is a project file that, it is this web page, right? And I should probably look. I haven't even, like, if I click on this load more, I haven't even played with that. Oh, it takes you down to that section. Okay. Like, look at this. It's horizontally scrolling. And not only that, but they're like moving, dancing up and down each section. And at the bottom of the page, check out this little accordion section that he has built. Dude, this page is mind blowing. When I saw this, I almost pooped my pants. Okay. Because, man, I don't see much Drift Pro stuff in the wild. And then just to go from not seeing much to this, I was just like, right, my mind blown. Davide Foundation Box is working on a new site. It's not a project file; it's actually a client site that hopefully eventually, when he ships it, maybe I can get him on and we can talk about that, because it uses some badass Drift Pro stuff, too. So Davide, if you're here, dude, when you ship that site, that photographer site, we got to talk. Maybe do a little how to or a live stream on just that one site, because I think it's beautiful. So Scrollify, like, check this out. You might not want to create a web page that's exactly like this, okay? But what you're getting with this project file is the how to. Like, how did he do these animations? How did he stage this up, right? So unlike a lot of other projects where, like, you're buying the website kind of pre-made and you're just going to replace the content, this one is a learning tool, or you get to pick the brain of the Massimo genius, right? So that you can figure out how to incorporate maybe some of these animations into your site, right? So yeah, this site makes me happy. I didn't even check. Is there other? Oh, check out the menu. I mean, look at that. Right there's so what's the overview? Oh, that was the overview. And then if we let's go through the walkthrough. That takes us. Okay, so these are breakpoints to particular parts of the site. Oh, and check out this little menu navigation he's got going up on top here, right? That takes you to particular points. I mean, look at that. Blown away, right? Seriously, it is a whole nother level of website design. This bad boy. So check this out. Scrollify is amazing. It does require Drift Pro. Okay. And I don't even, let's see, how much is Scrollify? So I know Massimo's been working on this for a long time. And guess what? He has a 20% off Easter sale going on until April 10th. You got 5 days. Okay. So 5 days site wide. I assume that even includes Scrollify. So check that out. Oh, okay, there we go. So let's see. I guess we go projects. There, dude, that's a no-brainer. So for 40 euros, he spent months working on that. Okay. That is slick. Let's go to more info. Does it require any other stacks? Let's see what's included. Stacks used. Foundation Stack, SWAT, and Drift Pro. There we go. Cool. Sweet, guys. Okay. So, let's see. I haven't been looking. Oh, there's some questions on the PDF for Scott. Looks like Scott handled that in the chat. Thanks, Scott. Okay. I think that did. I think that's everything. Let me head over to the community and verify if there's anything in the announcements that I missed. Really quick. Let's see, announcements. I think I got them all. Uncover, PDF, Scrollify, and Happy Easter. Yep, we're good. Oh, I did Pop Blend too, that was two weeks ago, but relatively recently. Okay. Sweet. Some big product updates that I shipped. All right. Normally I don't talk about product updates or, unless they're larger. And I did a couple really nice updates this week. Okay. The first one is XRay. So XRay is this week's deal of the week. And XRay's been around for a very long time. And I'll admit it wasn't necessarily the most attractive stack, right? It listed, essentially what XRay does is you point it to a folder and it will list out all the files in a directory, and it can create links to them. You can also set them to automatically download. I think I added that feature though after I added this demo. Yeah, I did. Okay, so right now on my demo site, it'll open it in a new tab, but there is a feature that I shipped yesterday that if you click on it, it'll automatically download the files. So it'll force download the files, which is very cool. And there's options to you can change the bullet style or have no bullets at all. You can do all kinds of stuff. So it's just a simple way to create, if you upload files to your server or you use something like Dispatch, which is actually next on the list we're going to talk about today. Use Dispatch to upload to a folder. You can easily, create a list of all the files in a particular folder and then have those set as downloads. Pretty cool. Okay. So yeah, I completely rewrote this. It's modern. It's completely modernized. It's much faster than it used to be. It looks a lot nicer as well. Okay. So yeah, check out XRay. It is the deal this week. So it's 50% off. So you can get it for like $7. Okay. Super useful. So check out XRay. Okay. Can't beat it for $7. Very good deal. Okay. Next up is Dispatch. So this is for Dispatch S3 and Dispatch Server. The same update went out to both. And if you've used Dispatch before, it works really well, but its style was maybe a little dated. Okay, so I've completely rewrote the styles for it. The functionality is identical. But basically all I did was I updated the styles for Dispatch. And before it was like very skeuomorphic, right? It was like heavy shadows and it looked like it was like inset in your web page. And, years ago, that was that was the bee's knees, right? For styles, but not necessarily cool anymore. We're no longer doing harsh drop shadows or inset shadows and stuff like that. It's everything needs to be much lighter, cleaner, look. So we've done that. Let me just go ahead and I will, let's just add one to the page. You can kind of see the cool new styles of Dispatch. Oops. Okay. So again, it doesn't matter. They both Amazon S3 and the server version. Most people are using the server version. Although this week or last week, I actually did a bunch of updates to S3 to get that working in PHP 8 because someone was having some issues with that. So Amazon S3 has recently gotten a lot of work as well. So let's go ahead and look at this. Drop this on the page. And there we go. As you see, it's much cleaner now. The settings are pretty much identical. Like I didn't reorganize the settings. That took a little bit of resistance from myself to not go here and completely start. But then I didn't want to go into like a 2-week hiatus of reworking the settings for Dispatch. So the settings are all the same. I actually removed some settings. There used to be like custom image drop zones for various other things. You can still replace this icon here. If you don't, it defaults to this SVG. Okay. And then I just put really nice, clean SVGs for some of the other settings that required you to put your own logo. So instead of requiring you to put your own logo, I got some really high quality SVGs that just are scalable, look great. And there was things like the close button or a little lock for the password field, little things that really aren't much, that having just a high quality SVG in there was just better anyway. Okay. So, yeah, but everything else, all the settings are the same. All the functionality is identical. I just basically changed some of the default settings. So if you have existing Dispatch instances on the page and you want to check out the new styles, you may want to drag a new instance on the page and then copy your server setup into the new instance. Okay, and any of the other settings that you have. Okay, like what inputs are you showing, and then down at the bottom if you have customized error messages and stuff like that. Copy that in the new instance because I like the new style. But there are some style settings because I changed some of the defaults. For example, like button style. Default border was, I think it was like 2 or 3 pixels. It's now 0. You can still add it, but like and I changed some default colors and whatnot. So yeah, check out Dispatch. I think it was just a really clean modernization update to give us a nice little clean upload forms for our web pages. And if you didn't, I totally forgot, but if you didn't already know, you can actually, if you use button stacks, change button style to use button stack, and then you can drag and drop whatever buttons. If you want to use F6 buttons or something like that, boom, Bob's your uncle. So at that point, then you have full control over those buttons, just like you would in Foundation or whatever is your favorite button stack, right? So yeah, there we go. Okay, sweet. So that's Dispatch. Really nice update. I'm happy with that because both X-Ray and Dispatch were kind of those things where I knew they were good stacks, but it was just like it felt they were aging. And so yeah, free updates for everybody. This was a free update. X-Ray was a free update, and Dispatch free update. So there we go. Okay. Next up, right on this page. Okay. So another stack that's shown its age, okay, a little bit is let's go check it out. My Parallax Stack. So my Parallax Stack is nice, right? It gives you, if you're not aware, it has an external demo. Let's go check out the external demo. All right. It allows scrolling kind of parallax backgrounds. Okay. It's nice. It gets the job done. Okay. In fact, this demo, I guess it's not really as, how can I? There's more things on this menu than should be there. Oops, I'll have to look at that. Hold on one second. Whatever. You guys can see we have this scrolling here and down here. Now, on some devices or sometimes, like actually right now, it's pretty buttery smooth. Okay. But depending on what else is on the page, like sometimes this animation can get a little jittery. And then even worse of all is probably the biggest complaint I get about it is the parallax effect is disabled on purpose on mobile devices. And that's because back in the day when this effect kind of started to become popular, mobile devices were not what they were today, right? Mobile devices were highly underpowered. And when you tried to enable a parallax effect on mobile, it would destroy the performance of the page in the browser, right? And but now a lot of our phones are more powerful than our desktop. Like a lot of things are actually smoother and more performant on an iPhone than they are on many desktops, which is kind of crazy, right? But it's true. So, but the Parallax Stack, it was hard coded. It would not work on mobile. So that was something I've been wanting to rectify for a very long time. Okay. Enter Parallax 2. Okay. And it's pretty cool. Okay. My hope is to actually get this out this week. Okay. So by Friday, I hope to have this out and available. It will be a paid upgrade to the existing version. I haven't organized all the upgrade pricing yet on it. Okay. It'll be out in the next couple days. Okay. There's 2 stacks that come with it. Okay. There is, Parallax. Okay. So there is, there's Parallax is the old version. There's 2 stacks, Parallax Back and Parallax Image. Okay. Parallax Back, it was actually the first iteration of this version 2 that I built, and I wasn't 100% happy with the performance of it because it uses background images. And so I completely rewrote it again, using images on the page instead of background images. For familiar, images on the page and background images, they're behave differently on a web page. And the Parallax image stack scrolls like butter. In some situations, Parallax Back doesn't. Why am I shipping both? Because using a background image sometimes it gives us some different layout options that we don't necessarily have when we're using an image. And I figured, well, I already have this stack built, and in a lot of cases it works great. Maybe the performance isn't as great as the image, but if you want some of those extra layout features that a background image provides us, then at least you have it. Okay, so what I'm going to say is, majority of the time, use Parallax image. And if you can't get the exact layout you want, give Parallax Back a shot. Okay. Again, it's purely because the way background images are treated by the browser, we have some more layout options. However, you could potentially, depending on what else is on the page or things, there's a lot of scenarios where the animation might get a little stuttery. Okay. But as you see here in this demo, it is not stuttery. It is silky smooth. This one here is Parallax Back. Now, I did add an overlay. There's an overlay option in the stack. I can remove that there. So obviously the overlay allows us to see the header a little bit better, right? So that's why that's there. Okay. So you can just quickly add an overlay. Let's go through the Parallax Back options. So you can provide it drag and drop image and also warehouse. Warehouse gives us total CMS support as well. So all you total CMS lovers out there, there we go. Full 100% support for total CMS. Okay. You can provide image scale, which basically means in order for background images by default will fill the area that we see. But with Parallax, we need the image to be bigger than what is seen, because we're actually animating it so that we see parts of the image that you didn't see before. So in order to do that, we need to scale that background image up a little bit. Okay, so that's what this scale feature is here. Then we can also define our animation. What directions do we want? So do we want a bottom to top animation, top to bottom? You can even do left to right, which is pretty cool. Right. So now if we do this left to right animation, we'll see now as I scroll, it's actually animating sideways instead of up and down. So it gives us some different parallax animation options. Okay. You already showed you the overlay, and then we can set different heights, browser heights for this container, for small, medium, and large. And these are percentages of the browser height. Okay. So here I have it set to 100% on mobile, 75% on medium, 50% on desktop. So you can kind of curtail that to whatever, depending on what your layout is, what content is inside of it. It'll stretch. So there we go. That's Parallax Background. Super easy to use. Yeah, I think it's a winner. Parallax Image, it's mostly the same, but it's slightly different. Okay. For different reasons. Okay. And it's just because background images are different than images. Okay. So here we have the same thing. We can do images as well as warehouse, 100% total CMS support as well. So there, because it's an image, we have an alt tag, right? Because it's an image on the page, we can actually add an alt tag for SEO purposes to the image now. Background images don't have that. You can auto scale. Basically what that does is, read the tooltip there, and I'll have more detailed videos about that. But essentially, it's a scaling algorithm to make sure whether or not an image is scaled to the browser width or not. Okay. Essentially, if you're not animating left to right, you can use auto scale, but there's some drawbacks to it. Okay. So I let you turn it on or off, and we'll actually let's play around with it with this image. If I go ahead and turn on auto scale. Let's go down to that image. Where is it? Here it is. Oh, I need to turn off horizontal animation really quick. And let's do center auto scale. Okay, so there's auto scale there. Okay, actually, let's do right. So there's auto scale. Now, if I turn off auto scale, we can kind of see what that does. Okay, auto scale shows us the image at its native resolution, where auto scale will scale it down. Okay, so there we go. So auto scale could be great, and it depends on what animations you're using. I have a full details in the tooltip on when auto scaling might not work well for you. Okay. Okay. So in here, we'll notice that I can do vertical, and you can do negative or positive. So vertical animations, if you go negative, will animate up, down. If you do positive animations, it'll do animate from down, bottom. And then horizontal animations, if it's negative, it'll animate from left to right, and positive will go from right to left. Okay, so, and what's cool is you can combine them, okay, which is pretty slick. So in here, you'll notice that now, if we look there, it's actually animating up and to the right, up and to the left. Sorry, right? So it's animating in multiple directions, which is pretty slick. Now you can obviously go ahead, and if I turn horizontal, let's say like I turn, let's turn vertical off. Actually, let's go ahead and turn vertical off. I'll set that to be top, and then let's just do horizontal animation. There. So now I have horizontal animation. So it kind of gives us something different, right? You notice as I'm scrolling, it's only animating left and right. And then when you're not animating in a particular direction, I give you alignment options. So I'm not animating vertically because it's set to 0. So therefore, I allow you to align that image to particular sides. So top, middle, or bottom, right? So if I set that to middle, we can see it kind of aligns in different places. Right. I think for this particular image, aligning top works best. Okay. Just as the other, you can add an overlay. Okay. So you can have an overlay or no overlay, and then you can have the same sizing options as we saw in the background. Okay. So yeah, there's the new Parallax version 2 stack. Should be out by the end of this week. I'm really excited about it. I love the controls. I think the animation is very smooth. Okay, it really is very performant, and I love the options to really customize the animation up, down, left, right, diagonally. Okay, couldn't be simpler to use. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy Parallax. Again, you should have that available to you, and it will be a discounted upgrade for existing users. So yeah, you have that by the end of the week. Okay, pretty cool. Okay. Let's see. Looking forward to the Parallax. Yep. Did I miss any questions? All right, if you guys have any questions, put that in there. I'm going to move on to one more thing I got. Okay. Here's my, I've always got one more thing, right? Okay. If you bought it so if you just recently bought Parallax, I'll come up with something. If you've recently bought it, not a year, it'll be less than a year. But yeah, if you did recently purchase it, I'll probably reach out to you, and you can get this newer version for free, or even maybe even more discounted. Okay, but good question, Gaston. Okay, next up is, oh shoot, did I remove? Oh no, it's not in this project. It's a different project. I need to open up. I have a new add-on coming out for feeds. And I started it a while ago, and working on XRay this week inspired me to finish it. Okay. And let's go ahead and look at it online first. So here I have a file browser, okay? And it is built with feeds, okay? So I give feeds a directory, and feeds is feeding me the files. Now, unlike XRay, it doesn't just provide us a list of file names and that's it. Okay. Because here I have 2 folders and I have an image. If I click on the folder, it actually takes me into that folder and then I see all of those. And there's a back button and I can go back to my previous location. I can go into PDFs and there is a PDF. Okay. So we have a fully interactive file browser. If you see here, and I have columns here, I have the type, I have the size, I have the date, the last modification date of these files. If I click on a file, it is set to automatically download. That feature is in XRay as well. I added that to XRay after I actually added it to this. So I thought that was a good feature. So I added that back into XRay. So yeah, pretty cool, right? Fully interactive file browser using feeds. And let's see how what this looks like, okay, in RapidWeaver. So here we have, it's just a bunch of 4 columns, right? So that if you look here, I have 4 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So up above my feed, so here's the feed stack. Inside there, I have a directory feed, okay? Someone give me input. Maybe I call it folder instead of directory. I could see that folder feed. I don't know. I kind of like directory. Maybe that's just the geek in me, but I can see that. Okay. And there's another one. There's also a directory backlink stack. Okay. You'll see these 2 new stacks. And normally there's something different. This is the first time we've had this with feeds. This directory backlink, while you add it here, it's actually meant to be added outside of feeds, okay? Because it contains a back button, right? That's that back button. So when by default, if I click back, you don't see it because I can't go back anymore. I'm at the beginning of my folder structure, right? But if I go into any folders, I can see that back button. And you can have folders inside folders. There is no limit to the hierarchy here. You can keep clicking through folders and you'll see a back button until you hit the home page, right? Or the root level of your directory. So that backlink is created by this backlink stack. And you can add whatever you want. I have a button stack in here, a Foundation 6 link button. And essentially all you need to do is once you put this stack and you can create whatever layout and button, basically all you do is inside the link, you just put in this back syntax. And wherever this is, it'll inject the current backlink for where you're at, okay? Or it will completely hide that entire back layout, okay? So that's how the back button is achieved. It's a little bit different. Again, you add the stack through the plus button, but then you drag it out, okay, to wherever you want it to be inside your layout. And it should be outside of the feed stack, okay? And then above, I have my header row, which is static. It never changes. It's not dynamic. So that is outside of my feed stack. And then I have a divider. And then here inside my feed, okay? So we have access to a lot of different data about each file, okay? And let's just quickly, I'm going to turn on data preview, and let's preview this so we can kind of see the data that we have available to us. So here's the data we have available, okay? We have name, which is, again, just the name of the file. We have the base name, which is the file without an extension. We have the full path to the file. We have whether it's a file or a directory. We have the size in bytes. We have the timestamp of the time the file was last modified. And then we have the extension. Okay, so there's a lot of data that we can use. You don't have to use all of it, but you can use any of this data within your layouts, okay? And if we look here is a folder, very similar. We have the name, same fields, but, basically it's, the name, there is no extension, so the extension is blank. The base name and the name are the same because it's just the name of a folder. You have the path to the folder, whether it's a directory. And obviously, folders have sizes on the file system, but they're, minuscule. Okay, so I'll show you how I dealt with all of that here. So here I added a 4-column. Okay. And if you notice in my layouts here, let's go back to this. You'll notice that my icon changes. For a file, I have this file icon. And then for folders, I have a folder icon. Okay. And how I achieved that was simply via this. I used the HTML wrap stack, which is inside the starter pack, which I think is great for Twig templating. Okay. Yeah. It's I didn't use this stack. I used it every now occasionally. It used to be called my HTML enclosure stack. This is perfect for Twig. Okay, for Twig if statements and stuff, it's absolutely masterful. Okay, so if you don't have my starter pack, go get it. This HTML wrap stack is great for Twig templating. So we just do if type equals file, then I have this link. Okay, and if you notice, it's just an SVG. So here this is a button, by the way. And I just put the SVG directly into the label, and then I put the name. So, curly brackets, name, curly brackets. So it's going to insert the name field there. And then I have an else, and then I have, so if it's not a file, that means it's a directory. So then in here, I have the SVG for a folder along with the name. So the only difference here is just the SVG icon that I'm using. And then in the second column, I'm just outputting the type. In this third column, if you notice, what I do here is this third column is size. I don't want to display like 0 kilobytes for folders. I just want to, most file systems kind of have little dashes because the size of a folder is negligible, right? So here I put in dashes for folders, and then I calculate because this gives us the size in bytes. If I wanted to display kilobytes, I need to do a little bit of math, right? So here I do if the type equals file. Basically, I do size divided by 1,000, and then I send it to round it. So I round the number, and then I put the letters KB at the end. So that's how I get the number of kilobytes. It's just bytes divided by 1,000. Actually, technically, it's probably divided by 1,024, right? That's actually true. It should be 1,024. That is actually the proper way to do it. And then else, and then if it's a folder or a directory, I just put 2 dashes. Okay. And then over here, I take the modified date and I pass it to the date function in Twig. If you're not familiar with all this Twig stuff, I did a live stream a few weeks ago on Twig templating. Okay. And we talked about a lot of stuff like date formatting. So here I just take that timestamp, I pass it to the date function, and I give it a format, and that gives us this nice date and timestamp. Okay, pretty cool. So that is feeds files. It will be an extra add-on for feeds. When will it be shipped? I don't know. I got to do all the marketing stuff for that one. Parallax, since it's an existing product, there's less work for me to do there. So that will definitely be out this week. If I put the pedal to the metal, I'll try to get this one out next week. Okay. So there we go. Let's see, any other questions? Sweet. Cool, guys. I think that brings the stream to a close. I showed off some really cool stuff this week, I thought. Not just for me either. The stuff from Michelangelo and Scott and Massimo, those guys killed it. All of them. So check out all their wares, all their stacks. Check out Made for Stacks and see what else is cool over there. And hopefully you enjoy the new Parallax coming this week and the feed stuff next week. So cool, everyone. Hopefully, if you want to have any more questions or maybe a more in-depth demo or of stuff, come join us on Friday at the Hangouts. Every Friday, 1:30 p.m. Pacific, we hang out on Zoom and we chit-chat. Bunch of great guys. Well, most of them are great. Scott's kind of questionable sometimes, not just playing. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you there on Friday. Cool, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Go out there and make your websites great. Bye. Oh, any news on Stacks Pro? Let's see, Matthias. So, I have no date, but Stacks Pro is making progress. Obviously, I am in constant contact with Isaiah. So because I am all in on Stacks Pro, and yeah, it's making progress. I wish I can give you more details other than progress. Okay. I don't have any dates. I don't even have anything that I could accidentally show you during these live streams. Okay. But yeah, it's coming along. Total CMS 3 is also coming along. I've had to do some of these small little releases just to yeah, keep the commerce flowing and kids fed. But Total CMS 3 is making headway. I've been working actually on the Twig stuff. So yeah, it's exciting. I just got all the template APIs done. Total CMS 3 does have an official API that is mostly documented right now, which is exciting. And yeah, it is coming along. I was hoping to have a beta out this spring. Can that happen? I definitely I plan on having something visible by the end of spring. Let's go for that. Okay. I might not have stacks built, but I'll definitely have the core API done. I'm on the last bit, I think, of the core API, and exciting. So then I got to create all the stacks for it and all that jazz. So it is coming along though. So thanks for keeping me on point for all that, guys. Okay, so cool. I won't keep you any longer, guys. I appreciate you, and we'll see you on the community. Take care. Bye.